Okay, styles again, but this time instead of talking about the dots, we're actually talking about the base map itself. So one of the advantages of using GIS is that you've got complete flexibility over what kind of data you display, and it's really only limited by your imagination and what data you can get hold of. And there's so much free data around nowadays, including from the OS, that you can really create some imaginative backdrops to give context to biological records. It doesn't just have to be the old sort of boundary, perhaps with a few hectad squares on it. It can be more imaginative. So I'm going to show you some of the options now. But thus far we've been using this raster map, just sort of showing the sort of relief of the county, which is quite nice. Let's put a dot map over it. So let's go back and change the style to the grey dots. We'll use the grey dots for now, the semi-transparent ones. Okay, and just for clarity, I'm going to start with using a hectad map. I appreciate you'll probably be wanting to do tetrads. We'll come back to that in a bit. So here's hectad map, grey circles for the great tip. Oh, no taxa selected. Sorry, I didn't see that message there. That's because I've changed the file since I opened it last time. Do it again. Okay. So let's have a look at some of the options here. I quite like a colour backdrop, especially if I'm producing stuff for the internet, but some people I know prefer black and white. So let's see what options we've got with still using this background map here. First of all, I'm going to open the raster, which is this mini scale relief, and I'm going to change it from well, let's put the transparency up first of all. As it stands there, that might be too strong in comparison with the dots. If we just push the transparency up to about halfway, you can see it knocks it into the background. So we've still got that sort of colour map for reference there, but it's knocked further back in relation to the dots. I'll make it just a little bit stronger than that. And now let's have a look at turning that to a grayscale. So on style here, down here, I can say, okay, make it a grayscale. And instantly we lose the colour again, the dots become stronger. Supposing I wanted to knock out the backdrop around, or at least push it back a bit further around Yorkshire itself, I can do that by creating a mask. Now earlier on I created a mask for the whole area by creating a big polygon and cutting Yorkshire out of it. So I'm going to open the project with that in now. Okay, so let's put the mini scale on there again. Let's knock it back a little bit. Well, let's turn it to a grayscale. That'll do for now. Now I've got this mask layer, you see, so I can blot out the whole of everything around it. So if I change the style on that, I could change that to white. And we would only see the bit of Yorkshire we were interested in. But supposing I want, for context, I want some of the surrounding stuff, I can just make that semi-transparent instead of completely opaque. And now I can start to see some of the stuff around it. I quite like that as a way of displaying stuff for atlases. Okay, so options there: color, black and white, fade, strong, whatever. At the moment there I've not got any of the district unitaries on. I took them off, but I can display them again or have them off, whatever you like. Okay, let's put a tetrad map over that. Let's change from hectads now to tetrads. We're still going to use the semi-transparent grey ones for now. Oh, I haven't selected the taxa again. That's because I changed projects. Okay, so there we have it. That's not a brilliant, grey on grey is not brilliant. So let's change it to colour. Let's load the 1 to 5. Just to show you something there. So there's one option. Let's take off the mini scale stuff completely. I want to show you some other options you've got. Now, there are lots, as you saw from this OS site here, there are lots and lots of background layers you can get, lots of different raster ones, similar to the one I've just showed you, but with a sort of different flavor, but also lots of vector ones where you can display individual layers. So what I've done is I've downloaded some of this strategy, so these strategy layers here, and I've just taken out some of the layers, not all of it, but some of them, which give a kind of good look and feel for orientating you in the map. So when I put that on there, you can see we've got the urban areas and some of the roads. So even if you don't have a full backdrop, you can help people looking at your distribution maps orientate themselves by having some of that information. Let's zoom in a little bit using the GIS. So you can see here, they're not very strong colours, we've got them here, but we've got the motorways, we've got the road networks, and we've got the urban areas. You can see it if I expand these here. But you can have these coloured up however you wanted. I've got done a sort of grey version here of just the urban areas and the motorways and the major roads. Let's zoom back out to the extent of Yorkshire. So you can see there, people kind of get a feel for where they are when they look at the dots if you've got some sort of background information there. Okay, so lots and lots of different options there about how you style your maps, both the backgrounds and the points. And once you've created the look and feel you want, you can save that into a project and open it very, very quickly. You don't have to create it from scratch each time. So when you're thinking about this, don't be limited by what I've shown you. Think about what you want and what you would like to display on the map, and the chances are that there's almost certainly some data out there, free data which exists, that you could make it look the way you want. Before I finish the demo, I just want to show you that we've got this other Tom.bio tool here. Let's just start it from scratch. It's up on the toolbar here, that lets you generate sort of frameworks of grid squares, and I'm going to generate a hectad map covering this area. So if I select my Yorkshire layer, it's already selected, and select the feature itself, I've got hectad selected up here, and I now click that, and it generates the hectad sort of framework for the squares over Yorkshire, which is, again, sometimes people like to do that when they're creating atlas maps. That can be saved as a permanent layer and be part of your project. So although it's very quick to do, you don't have to do it afresh each time. Okay.